In this video, we're going to have a brutally honest conversation about the real reason behind people not locking in, okay? I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with. They struggle to wrap their minds around why they can't just seem to lock in with something. Some people haven't locked in with anything and they haven't done anything consistently since they were in high school, being that they were forced to do it at that time. So we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty today. This is something that's been on like the top of my mind, just observing different things and seeing different things and truly just understanding. I am in another lock-in season, so I get what it takes and I get what it means, but I see that some people struggle with this. So wanted to just have a conversation with you guys. Remember, we're not going off of a script. We are just going based on what I just have in my brain right now when it comes to this topic. This is actually something I really love talking about. Like, I've gone viral on TikTok, on Instagram so many times regarding this topic. So I'm like, you know what? I need to go deeper into this. But I had a new revelation today about why people are so afraid to lock in, and more specifically, why people don't lock in. Like, sometimes it's not even about fear, but a lot of times, and for what I'm seeing and what I'm gathering, is aside from not knowing the outcome and what the future is going to hold and just how things are going to actually turn out once you actually do lock in, we know that people have those fears. But I think the real reason, and one of the real reasons I'll say, why people don't lock in and they just like to say it and hear themselves say it, like, oh yeah, next week, next month, I'ma lock in. Oh, next month, I'ma lock in. Oh, next week, I'ma finally do this. Oh, next year, I'ma finally do this. The time comes and they never do it. If you're one of these people, I'm so sorry that I'm, touching a nerve right now, but you need to hear this because you are in your own way. And I think a lot of you don't even realize the reason why you haven't locked in yet is because, truthfully, you are actually afraid of what locking in is going to reveal about you. A lot of people don't like to have their insecurities, their bad habits, their vices. They don't like to have those things revealed to them. When you truly, truly lock in, what happens? You start to better your habits. You start to get more disciplined with different things. You're cutting certain things out, cutting certain people and things off, right? When you lock in, it's going to expose to you how much time you actually have been wasting. Locking in is going to expose to you all of your bad habits. It's literally going to point a mirror in your face. Like, I don't think people understand that. And I think the people that do understand that still don't lock in, and they're just, I'm gonna, that's their favorite words to say. I'm gonna do this, right? I think the underlying issue is they really do fear what locking in is going to bring out of them. Crazy enough, that probably sounds crazy. Like, well, why would somebody be scared of what locking in is going to show them about themselves? Well, you have to understand, people want to be better, but when you have to face the bad parts of yourself and conquer them in order to be better, everybody don't want to go through that. Everyone does not want to deal with that. Some people like the idea of it. It sounds good. Like, yeah, I want to be better. But, I got to really face myself, and I have to really face certain parts of myself in order to be better. I have to really see how I have a problem with lust, okay? I have to really look myself in the mirror and understand and truly learn that I have a drinking problem, or, I smoke too much, or like I said, I just have not been able to conquer my lusts, right? Dibbling and dabbling over here, over there. I know that locking in would force me to see those things, and it would force me to deal with those things. I'm not ready to do that. And if you're watching this right now and you're in this stage of your life where you feel like, I do want to lock in, but dang, she's actually right. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I'm actually ready to face those parts about myself. Because see, the thing about it is, You are the only person that actually knows what you need to do. No one else can tell you what you need to do. No one else can point out your flaws. No one else knows exactly behind the scenes how you live your day to day, how you live your weekends, the things that you do every single night, right? No one knows that but you. And that is why talking about locking in to other people, it sounds good in hindsight. Okay, it sounds so good. It sounds like it's the best idea ever. It hypes people up. It makes it seem like you are doing way more than what you really are. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are truly scared of locking in because it's going to expose the real you. It's going to expose the real you. Okay, it's not going to be someone that you can run from, that you can hide from. Once you actually lock in and make the decision to, for an example, go all in with the gym, right? You want to make the decision to go all in with your fitness journey. Well, if you go all in with your fitness journey, that means your habits are going to have to change. And that's going to also expose the bad habits that you have. So for an example, going all in with your fitness journey, let's just say your fitness, your health and wellness journey, we're going to lump those in together. It's going to expose to you, hey, I'm actually really lazy. Like, I haven't been getting up and putting forth the effort to move my body every single day. For what? Because I'm lazy, right? Like, wow, I'm doing this consistently every day. I'm going to the gym every single day. It's showing you how lazy you've actually been, right? Let's say you start to eat healthier. Doing that is not the hard part. Doing it is accepting the fact that all this time you have been purposely eating BS because you just haven't had the courage and the strength and the power to actually change your eating habits. So it's really making you look at yourself like, wow, this is kind of embarrassing. This is kind of shameful because I could have been doing this, right? Like, it's going to expose the real you. Locking in is going to make you face yourself and face the parts of yourself that you have been running from. A lot of people want to continue running from themselves because when you do run from yourself, you don't have to face the parts about you that are negative, that you need to change, that someone else probably would not want to deal with, right? So it's like, I think people get so caught up in like, oh, the hype of locking in and all this, that, and the third, right? Locking in is going to reveal so much about you because at the end of the day, also, when you're locked in, I know I say that a lot. Like, at the end of the day, it's night. But no, really, guys, like, when you do lock in with yourself, it's going to show so much about you. It's going to show so many gaps in your program. It's going to show you, hey, I'm really not as strict as I thought I was. It's going to show you, hey, I'm really not as disciplined, or I really can't stick to what I say like I thought I could. Okay. And some people run into the problem of locking in and they have to lock in again and again and again and again because it's so hard for them to do it and actually stick with it. Like, there are truly some people that have not been forced to do something other than obviously like going to work every single day. But I'm saying like something that like you have to do on your own. People have not locked in since they was in high school. Like, some people haven't even picked up a book since they were in high school. Some people haven't picked up a book since they were in college. Like, some people haven't just, willingly did something consistently for a long period of time to help better themselves since probably forever, right? And because of that, this is why your life is the way it is. Like, yeah, there's so many reasons why people don't want to lock in. You got the wrong people around you. You're in the wrong environment. You don't have the self-motivation to do it. You're not a self-starter. So many different distractions, right? So many different vices, yes. But really, like, the reality of it is a lot of y'all don't want to turn the finger inward. You would much rather prefer to point your finger at everybody else and play the blame game as to why your life is not going the way you want it to go. And so Locking in would mean, hey, I would have to take that finger from pointing at everybody else and point it back to myself, because I am ultimately the one that's in control of everything. And a lot of people just don't want to face the negative and scary parts about themselves. Like, people don't like to be reminded of their shortcomings. People don't like to be reminded of their downfalls. People don't like to be reminded of their flaws, which is why some people never lock in, because they know if they do lock in, all of those feelings are going to come up, which is why when people really do lock in, they kind of go into like isolation mode. They go into isolation mode, hibernation mode, kind of like away from the world, and they come out of it a brand new person, because they have had to spend so much time with themselves to understand, like, wow, it's really some things that I have to work through. And you see those little posts on Instagram where it's like, I'm just really going through a lot right now internally. That's so real. Like, when you lock in with yourself, it is so transformational on the inside, because you have to deal with that every single day. You have to deal with your own feelings, your own emotions. You have to deal with feeling like, you're not good enough, you're not doing enough. And you're switching your brain from thinking like that and migrating over to, I am enough. I'm powerful. I'm confident. I'm intelligent. I'm smart. I got this. I can do this, right? I am strong enough to overcome my bad habits. I'm strong enough to beat lust. I'm strong enough to beat laziness. I'm strong enough to overcome, my eating addictions. And I'm strong enough to push myself to continue to do things that are going to help me be better every single day. I am strong enough to do these things. It takes work to get to that point, y'all. Like, I don't think people realize that. It takes work to get there. And no, let me not say that, because people do realize that. People do realize that. It does take a lot of work to get to that point. But the people who don't lock in, and the people who truly fear locking in, aside from all the other reasons, because there are so many different reasons, but when you do make the decision to lock in, and as you're thinking about it, like, I know I should do this, and I should get really, really, really serious about my life for the next 6 months or for the next year, they know that it's going to come with a lot of shedding. That shedding process, okay, is no joke. Because you're not just shedding people, you're shedding behaviors, you're shedding ways of thinking, you're shedding patterns, you're shedding habits, you're shedding all of those different things. And as you're shedding those things, like I said, it's like a mirror being held up in your face, okay? This mirror is being held up in your face, and it's showing you your flaws. It's showing you every single flaw you possibly have. And some people don't want to face that. Some people don't want to listen to themselves and sit with themselves and have those conversations and think through their thoughts and think through their flaws and think through their shortcomings. People don't want that, which is why some people never lock in. So if you are watching this video right now and you have trouble, who's texting me? Because who got through my do not disturb? If you're watching this video right now and you have trouble locking in, this could be your reason. Just being honest, like, the first step to locking in is accepting that you are getting ready to lock in. And I think you need to accept what's going to come with it. Accepting what's going to come with it is going to cause you to do a lot of inner reflecting. And once you do a lot of inner reflecting, it's going to bring about a lot of different emotions and feelings and thoughts that you probably don't want to face. You don't want to come to terms with. Locking in is going to show you, hey, in these moments, or, way back when, or before you decided to lock in, and these the things that you were doing, you shouldn't have never been doing that in the first place. Now you feel bad. Now you feel like, wow, I did waste my time with this person. I had no business dealing with this person. You got to eat them feelings, right? I think a lot of people just don't want to take ownership. I have found myself in that space plenty of times where it's like, girl, you shouldn't have been talking to this person anyway. You shouldn't have been talking to this person anyway. You shouldn't have been doing this. You shouldn't have been doing that. And granted, it's like, of course, like I said, hindsight is 2020. You can always go back and analyze what you shouldn't have done. But before you can move forward, like, you do have to accept what you used to be and what you used to do. Like, you can't just move forward and act like none of that exists. I think the key thing to truly locking in and moving forward and bettering your life is accepting the things that you used to do, fully accepting them and owning them, taking ownership of it. Like, you know what? I did used to do things like that. I did used to dibble and dabble and have my hand in this and have my hand in that and deal with these type of people and engage in these type of behaviors and, you know, all the different things. Accept that and take ownership of it. Once you take ownership of it, it's going to be easier for you to actually lock in and move forward. Because see, some people, they don't want to admit anything about their wrongdoings. Like, some people think they're going to be able to just grow and get to the next level without taking extreme ownership. I talk about this all the time, and it's probably could be a separate video, but when it comes to what we at 20 minutes, when it comes to taking ownership, that is putting the power back into your hands and not into the hands of anyone else. You can't play the blame game when you take ownership. Okay. That's saying, this is my fault. I'm taking ownership of X, Y, and Z. Okay. This is all me. I'm not putting this on anybody else. So locking in, and the part about locking in that people don't understand is it will be a lot easier for you to do if you just take extreme ownership. Okay. Just say, hey, I don't know how to control myself when it comes to my spending. I know that. I can look back on the past couple months and say, look, you was tripping. All right. You was letting money burn a hole clean through your pocket. You can take ownership of that instead of saying, well, I had this event to go to and I had this party to go to and I had this to do and I had to get this and I had to buy that. That's pointing fingers and playing the blame game. But taking ownership of that is saying, you know what? I was engaged in some things over the past couple months that I should have said no to, and I didn't. And see where that got me? I depleted my savings. I don't have that cushion anymore. Taking ownership is one of the biggest and best things that you can do for yourself, because once you take ownership, that's going to help you move to the next level. You cannot move to the next level and truly lock in with yourself until you are honest with yourself. A lot of y'all are not keeping it real with yourselves. If you can't keep it real with yourself, you're never going to be able to keep it real with anybody else. Let's just put that out there. But keeping it real with yourself is what's going to help you move forward. If you cannot keep it real with yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to successfully move from point A to point B. If you're just walking around thinking that you're perfect, it's not going to happen. You are going to always fall short on your journey of locking in. You're going to always start and stop, because you're not even being realistic about what your true faults and what your true flaws are. You're just winging it, so to say. Like, oh, I'm just going, no, that's not how it works. So I think the biggest takeaway from this is locking in with yourself is a very personal choice. And when you do make the decision to lock in, or if you're somebody that's struggling with locking in, whatever the case may be, understand that locking in is going to expose a lot of things about yourself that are going to be very uncomfortable. You are going to feel very uncomfortable in the early stages, especially in the early stages, child. In the early stages of locking in, it's going to seem like, oh, this actually doesn't feel good, because I'm having to push myself past my limits and push myself past what I already know of to be my normal way of doing things. And now that I'm doing things differently, I'm seeing like all of the BS that I actually used to do. Ooh, like, it's showing you who you really are. Okay. In the process of locking in, it's showing you who you really are. And if you want to get to who you want to be, you're going to have to accept that. You're going to have to accept your bad habits, your flaws, your faults. Like I keep saying over and over, acceptance is key. If you can accept those things, then you can put forth the effort to actually change those things, and locking in will become a lot easier for you to do. But, people that don't want to admit, hey, I go out too much. Hey, I spend too much money. Hey, I eat out too much. Hey, I have sex too much. Hey, I talk to too many different people. I'm filling my time up. I can't get nothing done because I am texting and talking on the phone all day. People that don't want to accept those things and truly come right out and say that, like, yeah, you know what? This is a problem of mine. You're never going to lock in. Just being honest, you're never going to successfully lock in because you're not even being honest and realistic with yourself. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and say, these are my problems. These are the things that I struggle with, and I'm acknowledging that I struggle with them. Acknowledgement comes first, then you can actually take the steps to grow. If you're not going to acknowledge your downfalls, it's not going to work. So I think this is the real reason why people struggle to lock in, or why people are afraid to lock in, because locking in is going to point the finger back to you. And if you don't like the finger being pointed on you, then I can understand why it's been so hard for you to lock in and actually do something. A lot of y'all are only 6 months to a year of locking in away from actually changing your life. If only you could just be consistent every single day for 6 months in the gym, how would your body look? If only you could just be consistent for 6 months eating properly every single day, how would your body look? How would you feel? How would your mood improve, right? Because your mood and your body and your emotions, all of that goes into play there. If you could just spend 6 months by yourself instead of dating and worrying about what all these men doing and trying to be a lover girl, where would you be in 6 months? Okay? As a man, if you could just stop chasing women and stop being so lustful and trying to be in her for 6 months consistently, where would you be? Good questions to ask. Okay, but locking in, you're going to have to ask those questions to yourself, those harsh questions, and you're going to have to reveal the harsh truths and the answers. And so I hope this gave you guys some insight. I know we kind of touched on a lot of different things and a lot of different aspects, but it all tied together. If you are having trouble locking in, first and foremost, you need to be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself about where you are, who you are, and what you are doing, what you have been doing, the things that, you did in the past. Accept them. And once you start to accept those things, it's going to help you be able to move forward. Don't be afraid of looking at the person in the mirror. Okay, if you're going to be afraid to look at the person in the mirror, you're going to always be a person that's going to point fingers at everybody else for the shortcomings in your life. No, you don't want that. Okay, lock in with yourself so you can become the best version of yourself in this season. It's August. The year is not over yet. There's so much time left in this year to really become a better version of yourselves. And I want that for all of you guys. So I hope y'all enjoyed today's little chat. Let me know in the comments what you think, your thoughts, your feelings, all those good things. If it's a negative comment, I'm deleting it anyway. So yeah, just a little FYI, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.